Okay, ETM Hotep, welcome to Divine Words Wednesdays with the Seshew mdw-ntr. Before we begin, we always like to start off all of our sessions with the recitation of the offering formula. All right, so I'll share my screen this time and pass the mic over to Sonet Imiket. You'll let me know when my screen is up.
It's on.
All right, so I'll pass the mic over to you.
All right, Dua. So yes, I'll go ahead and recite the offering formula, and the information about the offering formula, we have it from our on the archive from the past videos that we have. So if you want to know more about it, you can check the other videos that we have. And what I'm going to be doing is just read the transliteration, which you see is the middle part of the that you see on your screen. So and feel free to recite it along with me, and include any name of anybody that has passed along that you'd like to include. But in this instance, I'm going to be using one of the generic names of the ancestors, which is Aku. So I'll go ahead and recite it. Hotep Tinesu, Wasir Neb Jadu, Nech'a Neb Abtu, DF Beret Khiru, T Henket Ka Apet Shes Menchet, Chet Nebet Neferet Wabet Anchet Necheim. In Kani Imahu Aku Mahiru. An offering the king gives Osiris, Lord of Jadu, great God, Lord of Abydos, so that he may give our offerings in beer, bread, ox, fowl, alabaster, and linen, everything good and pure on which a God lives, for the car of the revered ones, the ancestors, justified. And just to add, I'd like to say that the pronunciation that you heard from me is what is known as Egyptology speak or classroom. So, but with that, I will just pass the microphone back to Jao, and he can add anything that he wishes to add about the offering formula.
All right, Iker Hotep, that's good. Dua for that. Yeah, I don't have anything to add to that, except we like to start off our hangouts with that, and we've been doing that for quite a while, and we basically started doing that from inspiration from Dr. Vakedi Amin, who does that as well. All right, so again, I want to say ETM Hotep to those who are watching, who will be watching the archives, and today we have in our Divine Words Wednesday, where we pick a theme to just have a discussion about and to kind of explain some aspects of the language or even the culture in Kemet. All right. But before we move forward, I guess it's appropriate to introduce ourselves. And I'll start with myself. My name is Wujau Min Eb Iri Ma'at, and I'll be running point for tonight. And we have other members on the panel, and I'll just pass the mic and everyone can introduce themselves.
ETM Hotel. This is Remy Shaw. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Divine Words Wednesday, and hopefully you'll enjoy the show.
ETM Hotep, Rennie Jehuti. Glad everybody tuned in. For those who tuned in right now and will be tuning in later, enjoy the show. We got some good things we're going to talk about.
ETM Hotep, welcome in peace, everybody. Rennie June, my name is June. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the show and leave satisfied. Hotep.
Name's Chris. Appreciate y'all for checking us out this Wednesday night. Hope you enjoy the show.
Hotep, Rennie, Imiket Aku, and yes, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. So welcome.
All right. And we have some other members that will be showing up shortly. All right. But let's get into our topic for tonight. The title of today's Divine Words Wednesdays is the love songs in Kemet, or Egyptian love songs or poetry. All right. And this is an appropriate topic because, as we all know, yesterday was Valentine's Day, and a lot of us celebrate Valentine's Day. And whether we know the origin of the holiday or not, we kind of grow up in a society that celebrates different holidays, and Valentine's Day being one, where you buying different candy, flowers, so it's the holiday of candy and flowers and spending some time with your loved one, and I guess celebrating, just spending some quality time with your significant other. So it's definitely, a lot of these holidays are definitely a benefit for the economy or different areas of commerce, like Christmas. Definitely boost toys, all kinds of gifts. The retail market is just, everybody goes out their way to buy a lot of things and gifts to give and exchange gifts. Then you have Thanksgiving, which is a boost for the food industry because everybody's at the grocery stores buying turkey, buying all that good stuff. And what's another major holiday? Well, Valentine's Day, Hershey's or whatever the companies are. I think Hershey's, Nestle, these major companies dealing with chocolate and different candies and things like that, they get a big boost.
A lot of turkeys being sold around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, turkeys. Yeah, I mentioned that the grocery stores, the turkeys, exactly. So yeah, these holidays definitely give a boost to different areas of the economy or retail, retailers and things like that. But anyway, so that's the motivation behind the theme for tonight, which is Egyptian love songs or Kemeti poetry and love songs. All right. So before we kind of go into that, I'll kind of open the floor. Any of you all want to discuss anything about Valentine's Day, or what's your views on Valentine's Day now versus growing up, or has it changed, or anything like that? Well, let me ask y'all on the panel. How many of y'all celebrated Valentine's Day yesterday? Everybody's quiet.
Crickets.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, someone's on the call. Let me again, yeah. Let me let everyone know that we do have a call-in number because Google Hangout is limited on the number of people that could be heard, up to 10, but we have a call-in number. And I'm not sure if we posted the call-in number. Let me do that as well. But yeah, whoever just called in, if you want to introduce yourself, give your name and everything, that'd be good.
This is your brother June. I just transferred from the Hangout to the call-in.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
But I'm single at the moment, so I spent my day basically early part of the day researching the origins of Valentine's Day. So plus I had to work, so that's basically how I celebrated it.
Okay. So for you, it was another day.
Yep, Taco Tuesdays.
Taco Tuesdays. I hear that. All right. So let me ask you this: if you can, based on what you say, you spend a little bit of time of researching Valentine's Day. So what can you share with us about Valentine's Day in terms of what you read, or can you summarize what you found out?
Well, I usually do this type of research when holidays come around, just to get a better understanding of the origins of them. Mm-hmm. And same as with most other holidays, it goes back to some tradition that is really maybe the way that it's celebrated now goes back to like maybe European European origins.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I've gotten over this ever since I got the Asar Imhotep's book. I'm sure we'll bring it up later, but he has a book, Where is the Love? So after reading that, I've gained like this whole new perspective on what love is and the African context of the word.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that mixed in with all of the, you know, the research that I came across early yesterday. To me, it just seemed like another holiday that people just get accustomed to celebrating and not really even knowing, you know, the origins or what it's really about.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, most of these holidays, whether we agree with them or not, do have benefits as far as spending time with family, you know, emphasizing, you know, positivity in life, stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I would say, you know, a lot of people that come into quote unquote consciousness, you know, that's how a lot of people refer to it. Like when I come into consciousness or become a part of the quote unquote conscious community, they one of the first things that happen is they have a new outlook on these holidays, and we'll tend to push it or shun it or raise our eyebrows on these holidays. And then a lot of people don't celebrate the holidays. So one of the things I always say is that, like if people ask me for, you know, my opinion about these different holidays or what do I do on these different holidays, I just tell people I celebrate family, you know, and it's not, I don't need a holiday to do that. But what happens is we live in a social environment, a society that operates based on some of these holidays. So for example, Christmas, the children, if you have children, your children are out of school if they go to public school. Even some charter schools and stuff, they just decide to go along with it. Your children are out of school. Certain holidays, your children are out of school. Certain holidays, jobs are closed. So people who have certain types of jobs, government jobs or whatnot, they close for those particular day or days. So whether you celebrate the holiday or not, we're all pretty much affected by it. So because we're affected by it, we might as well celebrate family. So that's why I tell people personally, I say, you know, I celebrate family, you know, because if you're off of work and your children are out of school, then you might as well do something as a family that you normally wouldn't have the time to do. So we indirectly celebrate these holidays. We may not celebrate the content of what the holiday represents, but we do something on these holidays. And I don't think that we should be ashamed of that aspect. And so that's what I always say. And I'm glad you brought up Asar Imhotep's book, because it's a book that I believe he let me see, when did it come out? It came out, I'm looking right now, 2015, so 2 years ago. And I believe he published it around about this time. He published it because I remember discussing it with him. I think he published it right around Valentine's Day. And it was for the purpose of educating people on the concepts of love from an African-centered view, you know, the African conceptualization of love. And he gives examples in the book, basically through linguistics. So the book is basically a linguistic analysis of love, of the concept of love, the word love and things. And he did an excellent job of breaking it down, showing, you know, demonstrating what it meant and how the meanings changed over time by giving linguistic examples and things like that. So yeah, I encourage everyone to get his book. It's called Where is the Love? How language can reorient us back to love's purpose. A preliminary linguistic analysis by Asar Motep. So yeah, definitely it's available on Amazon. But that book is good. But anybody who's read that book on the panel, anything in that particular book stands out or you want to bring up? Brother Sean, you were speaking earlier.
To you?
What were some of the things that you were saying?
Yeah, this is a good example of a piece of work that Asar did in this book. A lot of us have this conception of love from a different perspective, and it comes from what we were taught to think what love is. Love is not materialistic. It is not something that you just say to console. Asar does a great job in going in and explaining the root of what love is by its actions and how one does love through actions, the many different ways. So yeah, I recommend it highly.
Okay, excellent. And I'm trying to quickly pull up a picture of the cover. Let me see if I can find a picture of the cover of the book. Unless one of your, okay, you have it. Let me put it on your screen. Yeah, if you could show it. Okay, yeah, if you could lift it up a little bit right there. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, so yeah, now the cover, the significance of the cover, as the brother Asar explains in the book, is that it's showing an instance of cultivation or the cultivation of the land. And so the analogy can be made between love and farming and cultivating, because a relationship has to be cultivated. Just like when you farm, you have to till the soil, till the ground. You have to plant the seeds. You have to nurture the seeds. You have to take out the weeds. So every now and then you got to check on your crops and make sure there's no weed, and make sure no other animals are eating at your crops and things like that. So he makes some connections, some analogies between farming and agriculture itself with love. So it's a real interesting point. So yeah, Dua for sharing that. So yeah, that's the book and that's the cover on there. So yeah, so I recommend everyone get that book because he does an excellent job of explaining love. All right. So all right, now I did hear a couple of people come in on the conference call. So those who just joined us, if you could introduce yourselves and tell us where you're calling from. Hopefully you all can hear me.
Can you hear me?
To you, yes.
This is brother Chris. Calling in from Alabama.
Okay. You had any comments on anything we were saying before? Do you have Asar Motep's book?
You know what? I was just thinking, I have the book. I haven't read it.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
I got to read it.
Yeah. Definitely check it out. It's good. Yeah. But let me ask you, how do you feel about Valentine's Day though? Did you celebrate it, or what do you think about what I was saying about us being indirectly, well, we're all affected by the holidays and we kind of indirectly do things on the holidays. What's your opinion about that?
Yeah, that's kind of always been my take on about all the holidays, period. Even when I was a Muslim or whatever, it's like we're living in this land and we're getting tail ends of it regardless. You know, even if our whole household is Muslim or whatever, or we're Hebrews, we still have TVs, we still go outside, we still have noses, you can smell popcorn and all this other kind of stuff, nuts in the air, that's everything. So my thing is take advantage of that situation, like you were saying, which we used to do at home, and just enjoy, enjoy each other, enjoy family.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
So,
and not be fanatical. You know, because I know that you know, I'm not sure I'm not the only one clearly, but you try to be overly fanatical about it, and you're living in the land of, you know, other religions or whatever. That causes pressure.
right, right.
You know, it just causes pressure, man. Unnecessary pressure on the kids. You know. So yeah, I'm for what you said. Just enjoy family and just do it that way.
Yeah, especially like Thanksgiving. It's like, you know, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving represents the rape and pillage of the Native Americans and stuff like that. And that's fine. Like, we don't acknowledge or celebrate the events that brought about the holiday, but the actual social impact that the holiday has on us, we can't you know, it would be delusional to think that we're not affected by that, you know. So we might as well. So that's why I say, you know, the best thing is celebrate family, you know, because a lot of times a lot of people work. They, you know, the hustle and bustle of just working a 9 to 5, 5 days a week. And then on the weekend, you got to spend time to do laundry, clean, you know, do some cleaning around the house and stuff. You still don't really have quality time with family, or it's limited. So the so-called holy days or holidays, it just adds to that. And that's what I say. So, and I don't think that people should be ashamed of that, because you don't have to acknowledge the content of a holiday to take advantage of the fact that you're off of work, right, or the fact that your child is out of school, you know. So that's how I see it. So but I see we have somebody from Ohio called in.
This is this is David.
Okay, Hotep, how you doing?
I'm fine. How is everyone?
I'm doing good. I don't know. Can everyone here on the panel hear this, right?
To you.
Okay, I just want to make sure everyone on the panel in the. Okay, all right, good. So yeah, David, what's your opinion about what we were saying?
About the holidays, Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's commercialized for basically building up the economy. I know we have Sweetest Day here. You probably don't have it in Atlanta, but that was another way for us to build up the economy here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I think a lot of I think the side effect of a lot of holy days, no matter what the culture is, the side effect is a boost of morale. It's a boost of the intercourse between people, and a boost of you know, the economy of whatever society it is, because it, you know, even traditional holidays from all cultures, people celebrate. They come together, you know, and in order to celebrate, or quote unquote have a party, you got to buy materials. You got to, you know, organize. You got to do this and do that. So I think that's a default side effect of all the holidays. And I guess certain ones are specific to certain areas of commercial things. Like I was saying, Valentine's Day affects the chocolate industry or candy industry, period, and flowers. Yeah, so, but all right, so that's good. So now, you know, we didn't. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to add that to look at the other side of things, the way that it is a way that you can take things too far with being too militant about the holidays. But I think one of the main reasons why it started is because we're being bombarded by all these European motifs being thrown at us with all these holidays. Just Valentine's Day, you have Saint Valentine's, and then you have Cupid, and it's just as being bombarded with these European images thrown at you every holiday. So I think people get sick of that, and they probably just have, like, it makes you look at how white America looks at black America. So
yeah,
I just want to add that real quick.
No, that's a really good point. And you know, I guess the counterbalance of that is when when our people tend to kind of blacken everything. Like, you know, Jesus becomes black, Cupid becomes black. You know, it's the kind of thing where we want to just make everything, you know, black.
Cupid.
So yeah, but
Right.
but okay, so not to dwell too much on Valentine's Day. That's not, you know, our theme is Egyptian love songs. So now let's switch over to, okay, we know that love is not a holiday. You know, like love itself is something that's expressed all the time. And you know, on the actual concept of love itself from an African point of view, that's why we mentioned Asar Motep's book, Where's the Love? So that's an excellent book to consult about that. But now let's shift it over to in Kemet. Now we're talking about love songs or documentation of poetry in Kemet. And most of the time when we talk about Kemet, a lot of the conversations, discussions are about what the kings did. And it's a lot about death, really. Funerary documents. You know, we're talking about the offering formula, you know, that's left inside of tombs on stelae and all this, you know, other kind of artifacts. We're talking about the Runu Peret Imheru, which people know as the Book of the Dead. You're talking about the Litany of Ra, the Book of the Amduat, what's in the underworld. All these different things, you know, kind of centered around death or the afterlife, if you want to say it that way or whatever. Or we talk about what a king did. Did he, you know, beat up the Assyrians, the Hittites, and this and that. So, but we don't really talk about, well, it's less talks about just everyday things in Egypt, in Kemet. And one of the everyday things would be relationships, you know, how people related to one another and stuff like that. So this is seen and demonstrated in the love songs or poetry. So that's what we want to kind of get into now. And it's appropriate because, you know, Valentine's Day just went by and everything like that. So what I want to do is I want to share a document that our brother Chris had organized and typed up. And let me just share. Let's see. Here we go. All right, give me. Up and hearing some feedback from the phone line. Okay, let me know when you all can see my screen. And I noticed there's a slight delay on YouTube.
You can see.
All right, so that you all can see it clearly, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you click on the cogwheel, which is on the bottom row of the video. Click on the cogwheel and set your video settings to 720. All right, that's if your video settings are blurry. All right, so okay, so what I'm showing on my screen is one of the love songs that is found, you know, it's found in Kemet, and it's coming from the papyrus known today as the Chester Beatty I or Chester Beatty I papyrus. All right, and like I said, brother Chris, who's on the panel, had organized it and typed it up into a document. So if we can share it. All right, so obviously this is not the original. You know, this is a transcription showing the actual transcription of the Seshew. Let me put my cursor on there. We have the Seshew. We have the transliteration that's done in a form of diacritics. So it's not manual decodage as we do on social media like Facebook. You'll see us transliterate using the manual decodage system, which is case sensitive. This is different. And you'll find this kind of transliteration with diacritic marks in a lot of printed material. Okay, so that's like the difference of choice between the two systems. and then the translation. All right. So here's one of the poems, basically from a woman to a man, I believe. And we could just read it so you can see the kind of, you know, the kind of words that were expressed. So I don't know if does somebody want to read it, or y'all gonna make me do all of it? Okay, I guess that's, I guess y'all.
Hey, I'll read it.
Okay, but let me say this first before we begin with this one. Now, we talked about love, all right. Now, and then we said, you know, Asara Imhotep's book does an excellent job of breaking the word love down linguistically and everything. Now, in terms of one of the concepts about love, this idea of love in Kemet, what's interesting is that the there's a connection made in Kemet between an aspect of love and drunkenness. Okay, to be intoxicated or to be drunk, it's related to the idea of love. And so now this is in Kemet now, and even today we see people use it the same way. They'll say, I'm drunk in love. I believe Beyonce even has a song, something like that. I think the title of the song is something like that. But you know, you know, this whole idea about someone being in love and you're being in a spell, even in cartoons, like when cartoons try to depict one of his cartoon characters in love, they'll show these hearts around their head and they're kind of like dazed and confused and floating around and things like that. So we see these concepts used today or expressed that way today, but it's also like that in Kemet, where someone, not the general concept of love, you know, but this idea of being in love, you know, with someone or whatever, it's kind of attached to the idea of being drunk and intoxicated. So for example, there's a word in Rani Kemet, and it's the word teku or teku, and it actually means drunkard. All right. Or it's a verb, you know, meaning to become drunk, or the word tekiyu, which means drunkard, a person who is drunk. All right. And then there's a word tekteku, which means to be deranged, to be topsy-turvy, or to be confused. So you see how these words are, you know, relate to this idea of being kind of dazed and confused and kind of out of it, under some kind of spell or whatever the case is. And it's the same word that's used for the word love songs inside of these different poetry or love songs that survive to this day in a different papyri. So I'm not sure if that word is going to show up in this particular one, but we'll see. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there to let you know that some of the things that we do today, a lot of things we do today, we can find it in ancient times among the different communities in Africa. You know, so sometimes when we today look at things from a European's perspective, or think that Europeans are introducing these concepts to us, and then we want to push back and kind of fight it, we kind of do that. Some of those things we kind of do that in ignorance, not knowing that it is an African phenomenon in the first place, or you know, a concept in the first place, you know. So I just wanted to kind of put that on the table before we actually read it. So let me mute myself. So Sean, I will scroll as you read if you're reading from my screen. So and let me lock it on my screen for everyone so they can see that. All right, but yeah,
yeah, I just wanted to quickly add. I don't know if you could zoom in a little bit, if it's possible to do that, just so that those watching on YouTube can see the glyphs as well clearly.
All right, let me zoom in, move it over, zoom in. All right, how about now? That should be good. So let me wait a second and make sure it shows up on YouTube that way, right? All right, yeah. Okay, everyone should be able to see it. All right. And again, you know, I want to say ETM Hotep to those who are watching. I see we have more people that are showing up in the chat. So ETM Hotep, welcome, and dua for tuning in. And hopefully, if you do have a significant other in your life that you know you all are tuned in and kind of have these discussions, further discussions, even when we're finished for tonight, just kind of have a dialogue about the things we spoke about. You know, the holiday itself, love itself, um, Asar Motep's book. You know, hopefully you all will go out and get that, and then what your thoughts are on this poem. So anyway, be quiet and go ahead, Brother Sean, you can go ahead and in your Barry White's voice, you can go ahead and read the. Well, actually, this is from a woman to a man. So actually, son at Emiket, kind of put you out there. If you don't mind, do you mind reading?
It's man first. If y'all look right there, say stanza 1, it'll be man, and then it'll be stanza 2, and there'll be woman.
Oh, okay. All right, I got you. All right. So yeah, so Sean, this is, I guess you're first. You're first
translation.
So you can go for it.
Okay, you want to do the translation or the
Yeah, the translation, just the translation. Everyone can see the transliteration. Now, in order to yeah, we're not going to read the transliteration or attempt to read it in Ronnie Kemet, you know, by way of conventional speak, classroom speak, or Egyptology speak. We'll just read the translations. All right, but anyone can come back to this video and in fact, we may actually put the ones we're sharing, we could put it on the website as well. But yeah, just read the translation, it's fine.
Okay. Beginning of the utterance of great pleasure. Unique is my beloved with no second, more beautiful than anyone. Look, she is like the star. Dazzling, excellent, fair of complexion.
Oh, sorry, you. I probably scrolled too fast. I think you skipped it.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, rising at the beginning of the good year. Dazzling, excellent, fair of complexion. Her eyes are beautiful when beholding. Her lips are sweet when speaking. She has no excessive words. Long of neck, fair of breast. Her hair's a true lapis lazuli. Her hair's of true lapis lazuli. Her fingers are like lotus flowers, wide of hips, slim of waist. Her thighs stress her beauty, balance stride when she walks the land. She stole my heart in her embrace. She makes the neck of all men turn in order to look at her. Whoever embraces her is happy. He is like the first of lovers. See her as she comes, like the yonder, the unique one.
All right, and that ends the first one. Now see, now that right there, I don't know about you all, but man, that is like you know, somebody is really, really. Hold on, let me go back to a couple of lines there. Where is it? Okay, it says, "Look, she is like the star rising at the beginning of the good year." You know, now in the cultural context of things, we know that this woman is being compared to Sopdet, because rising at the beginning of the good year would kind of imply or infer that it's talking about the heliacal rising of Sopdet, which everyone pays attention to. So he's comparing his woman, or this woman, to something that is worthy of all attention. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. Dazzling, excellent, fair of complexion. What was the other one? Yeah, her lips are sweet when speaking. She has no excessive words, which means that, you know, words are chosen wisely. Long of neck, fair of breast. So a man is checking out the top.
And the thighs.
Yeah, let me scroll down. Where was it? Okay, her fingers. I mean, he's paying attention to her hair, her fingers. And this is a trait, they say this is an African trait or whatever, wide of hips, slim of waist, her thighs stress her beauty. Balanced in stride. I mean, she got a mean walk, boy. The models of today, what they call a catwalk. Obviously, they didn't have nothing on this kind of walk here. A balanced stride when she walks the land. Let's see, stole my heart with her embrace. She makes all the next of men turn and look at her. This is typical. This is typical. You're walking down the street and a beautiful woman walks by, and it's a crowd of brothers walking. Everybody's gonna look, break their necks to look. You know what I
got
mean?
little Trey songs in them.
You said, some Trey songs. Yeah. You know what? And that's the thing. This poem will make for a good song or even some bars inside of a rap song. Let's see, he's like whoever embraces her, like, man, with those hips and the way she looks and everything, whoever embraces her, whoever captures her is going to be happy. Yeah. So, and she's unique. So yeah, that's that's really interesting. So now this is coming from, let me go back up. This is the Chester Beatty, Papyrus Chester Beatty 1. So I got some feedback on the phone. I'm not sure which phone line is doing that. Or was it the phone line? But okay, so let me okay, with that poem being read, what are some of y'all thoughts? I mean, I'm giving comments about it from what I got out of it. But what do y'all think about that?
I think it's great. I just think I guess I'll wait till we get done. Just expound on some of the finer things as far as like I mean, you already touched on like where they say star, where they was basically referring to the rising of Sopadet. I mean, and where it's like a Senate and stuff like that. Just kind of, it's
Okay.
like it really means sister, but like here it's translated as beloved. But we'll just wait till we get through the whole thing.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, what are your thoughts on the on the on the feel of the poem? Because everything is said here is stuff that we say.
Ahead of
We
its
say,
time. I mean,
yeah,
this is stuff we still say literally today. Stuff that still happens today. It feels like there's nothing separating us from now.
right, exactly. Like I can hear someone saying this, like this right here could be in a Hallmark card. I said that before. Really. So about now I know there's a delay on from the let me see if I can widen this up. Like it's narrow on YouTube. I guess it's as wide as it get. But now I know there's a delay on YouTube from what we're talking about. But if you all are listening in, if you type in the comments, just tell me what do you think about the poem in terms of the content, or anybody on the panel or on the phone line. Yeah, you could chime in. Nobody. All right. So on that Emicat, now, you being a woman, what do you feel about this poem from a man to a woman?
It's a beautiful poem, and while Sean was reading through it, I think what got into my mind was just the idea of what somebody, or probably majority, I don't know, I don't want to generalize, but what would be considered an ideal woman. There was a part where I was talking about fewer words or something like that. So, and apart from the it's kind of like a full description where it talks about the physical beauty and then it talks about the kind of character or something like that, you know. So I thought that was interesting. But in my mind, I'm thinking this is probably what most would consider an ideal woman at that time.
Okay, good, excellent. All right. How about anybody on the call? Got anything to chime in on it?
If they don't, I do.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Um, it just tells you the essence of how romantic in that time period they were. Um, the fact that they can describe in detail the quality of the females or this particular female that could catch the attention of any man,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll be happy. Goes to show that uh, you know what we do today was taking place back then, as far as how we would look in at a particular woman and acknowledge her beauty from within as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
As well as just getting to know her like from a day to day. But yeah, it was pretty deep.
All right, that's good. So what I want to do is, I guess, read the second one, and then we could kind of speak a little bit more on what Chris brought up in terms of the choice of words. Like we can kind of get into the language that's used in in these love songs. So I guess we can read the other one, and then we'll go into that. So let me get back my screen so everyone can see my screen. And press it back up. All right. So I'm going to go down to the next one. And where did we leave off? Okay, right here. All right. So I guess on that Emiket, I guess this one will be on you, if you don't mind.
All right. Yes. My beloved overwhelms my heart with his voice. He caused love sickness to seize me. He is among the neighbors of the house of my mother. Although I cannot go to him, my doing what best for me tells me. Stop seeing him. Look, my heart is vexed when he is remembered. Love of him has seized me. Look, he is senseless, but I'm just like him. He does not know about my desire to embrace him, and that he may send to my mother. My beloved, yes, I am destined for you, by the golden goddesses. Come to me so I can see your handsomeness, so my father and mother may be proud. My entire family will rejoice over you together as one. They will rejoice over you, my beloved.
All right, that's it. So yeah, see, man. Well, let me start with you, Emiket, since you read it and being a female or woman. What's your opinion about that? Or what stands out on that one?
Reading through it again is it's most of the stuff that are the words that we probably are familiar with today. Talking about being lovesick and all that, and then I think there was a part where he's talking about the parents or the mother and father, and yeah. So I don't know, kind of made me think about about the class or the age or something, but at this point can't tell much about that. But yeah, I think those are the two things that I quickly took out while reading it.
Okay. How about anyone else? Well, what stands out on this one, it says, my beloved overwhelms my heart with his voice. So obviously she thinks of him as having a very nice voice, and a lot of women like men that, you know, where their voice sounds real nice and everything. Had that Barry White or that Isaac Hayes type of voice. Then obviously it talks about what I mentioned earlier, how the idea of being in love or this infatuation with someone is connected to drunkenness or sickness and things. He is among the neighbors of the house of my mother. Let's see. So obviously there's like a little tug of war with this particular person. So in one mind, it's like, I need to stop seeing him because he's driving me crazy, you know, or whatever. And then in the next thing, she's saying, come to me. I think I probably passed it. She's saying, come to me so I can see your handsomeness. Like, I'm trying to see you, you know? So, so she's trying to get him out of her mind, stop seeing him. Then, you know, she becomes frustrated when she thinks about him. Cause it says my heart, it vexed when he's remembered. Love of him exceeds me. Let's see. She expresses her desire to embrace him, trying to have that embrace and so on. You know, I don't want to like walk through the whole thing. So, at the end, basically saying, you know, if they come together, then her mother and father will be proud, you know. And, you know, today, you know how if you're a father, if you have children, anybody has grown adult children, you'll hear some parents be like, hey, when you gonna give me a grandchild? You know, when you gonna give me a grandchild? When you gonna make me a grandfather? When you gonna make me a grandmother? You know, and stuff like that. So we kind of have that kind of saying or concept going on today. And it seems like this is something similar back then, you know, so my mother and father will be proud, you know, of my choice, you know, as a woman, like this is my choice in a man. And the fact that, you know, parents are always proud when their children produce children and make them grandparents and things like that. So anyway, so anybody else got any commentary about that, about the poem?
Yeah, if you put what she said into context with the type of character men actually carried themselves around with in this particular time period, it would be justified for her to feel the way that she's feeling, because if she has a physical attraction and is intellectually in tune with this gentleman and he fits the mold of an ideal conversation she had with her mother and father about what type of man they wanted in her life, then all these desires that she's having, this push and pull explains it all, you
Yeah.
know. Plus it reminds me of myself back in my day, you know.
Right. All right, so that's it, man. That's a good point, you know. How about anyone else? Anyone on the phone line have any commentary for us? Now, out of all the lovers that's out there, you mean tell me nobody don't have any commentary?
Jehudi in the chat, he's reciting things. He's making a little bit out of it. Many of our women battle with this today, and him and Lisa are having dialogue about. He's like torn between the feelings of being crazy for a man and feeling like she's faking in love, versus needing to stop seeing him, or falling in love is what he meant, not fake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the reading on that part is like they're like a perfect match, but you know, but I'm not sure if she probably hasn't, like she mentions, he does not know about my desire to embrace him, so I don't know like if he knows about how she feels about him in that sense, but she knows that they're a perfect match and is an ideal person for her parents liking.
Mm-hmm. Well, those are good points. Anything else?
Yeah, so far what I'm hearing is a song. It's kind of like a moderate song. It's like that you could play today, like kind of lyric wise. It's
Mm-hmm.
like he's showing his feelings towards her in the first verse, how he feels about her, and then in the second verse she's saying how she feels about him, and he doesn't even know. It's like a story that you can follow.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know about modern because nowadays the kind of stuff we hear is more filthy, but it sounds like those 90s R&B or pop groups.
Yeah. See, now
I feel
that's a good point. We gotta make the distinction. We're not talking about the smack it up, lick it up, rub it down, and back it up and all that stuff. We talking about Temptation Days, the Four Tops, the Stylistics, the Isley Brothers, Marvin Gaye type of expressions of love song. Um, Barry White's known for telling people like it is. Teddy Pendergrass, you know, and I gotta stop doing that. I'm probably telling my age by calling off these.
so you don't hear no Future in there.
Nah, nothing wrong with none of them that you just stated. None of them. I mean that 80s transcending into the 90s. Yeah, man, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I bet you some people, don't even know about Teddy
You forgot
Pendergrass.
Luther though. You forgot Luther.
Oh yeah, Luther, Freddie Jackson, Luther. Who's known for Keith Sweat? Um, you know,
Genuine.
he said Genuine. See, Genuine was more recent though, like compared to who we mentioning. Cause and that's the thing. I mean, we're kind of going off on a little tangent, but in terms of music expressions, um, you look at the names of groups today versus the names of groups back then. Look at the lyrical content of songs, whether it's hip hop or R&B, and then compare it from today back then. Because back then it was all about you expressing either your excitement for your love or your heartbreak if you had a breakup. You were talking about partying, having a good time, or something dealing with the social environment that was going on at the time. Nowadays, man, it's really, really changed. So that's a good point, Emicat, that these lyrics would fit really good with that old time type of songs. I don't know about today. So but yeah, all right, let me go back to the screen. So brother Chris, you had brought up something interesting. So I guess now I guess you can direct me to whatever you were mentioning. You had mentioned something. Um you chimed in on something specifically, I think.
Mm. You have to tell me what it is. 'Cause I mean, y'all don't kind of cover a lot of it, but I just want to, just mention like let's see,
All right, let me start at the top.
start if you want to go to the top. Yeah.
Okay, let me start at the top, and then you could point out something that you felt that needed to be pointed out. I mean, I could scroll down and up or whatever if you need me to.
Yes, we'll just start. I guess we have a Senate, which is basically literally sister, but it's literally used as a term of endearment, as my beloved, like how we use man, that's a fine sister today. And then we have right here, there's a negation, Neen Senut S, where it says like she has no second, which means like there's no one like her, like she has no rival, and like there's no one can, like she's incomparable to any of the women in her time, in her town.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess going on to the next line, I mean, he, builds on top of that, says, in respect to her beauty, there's like it's incomparable to anyone. Like she's more beautiful than anyone that he's ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And And then he says, look, she is like the star, where the star has the goddess, the determinative, where they're literally it's a direct comparison to Sirius. And I mean, like, literally, like, this is actually like, this is like a song, like modern day song, like throughout this whole text, you know, you have words, symbology, leading on to deeper things.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, these are really good points, and I hope that everyone listening is getting it and understanding the creativity in this form of writing. And let me go back up a little bit. Now here you can see that there's some kind of play on words, because as you already pointed out, sonnet E would normally be my sister. We would normally, if we were to see that in isolation, we would normally think of that as saying my sister. But as you pointed out, this is a term of endearment, and it's from this concept, obviously, in the culture itself, where you get the tomb of the two brothers, where you have the word sin. Because remember, the word sin just simply means a second, another one, a second, a twinning. Because the word sin, you have was sinu, which would be 1 and 2. So sin is actually just a second or a twinning of something. And if it's masculine, we just say sin. If it's feminine, we say sinet. And it became the words for brother and sister, which is a second you. Whether the second you is a male or it's the second you is a female, we would use it in those terms. So now by itself, we would say this is sister, but it's obviously a term of endearment as well. And it's also a play on the word, because the word to kiss is similar. To kiss someone, is similar. So, and here we see it being used in a numerical form, and then we see it also used as a term of endearment. And what adds to the negation is this first word here, what. And the word what is related to the word wa. I said wa sinu. So you see this play on words. You got wa sinu, 1, 2, but it's not used as 1 and 2. It's used as unique, meaning soul or unique, wati, soul or unique, and then a term of endearment, and then it's actually using number 2. So you see a whole bunch of play right here. So this is somebody that's really tricking out with the language, itself. And then what was the other thing you pointed out? Right here we have more beautiful, because we have neferet, which is a comparative thing. We're saying, it's used as a comparative. So it's more beautiful, and then and then it says anyone, but it could also be referred to as ladies, because of the feminine, the feminine marker on the word nebut. All right. So, and what else do we have? Let me try to scroll, make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah. What else can we point out? So yeah, you already pointed out the fact of the star. We mentioned that earlier. And beginning of the good year. Now we see year, renepet, and then we have neferet, good year, and the beginning of the year. So remember, the new year, wep renepet would be the new year, beginning of the year, or the first of the year. And it says, instead of saying wep renepet, it's saying hat renepet, which means the forefront, or the beginning, and we know that that any star associated with the beginning of the year is the star Saptet or Sapadet. All right, so we mentioned that. And what were some other things?
You could stop right there,
Okay.
where it says dazzling, excellent, fair of complexion, where it says I win, the last word there. It's literally referring to her actual hue, like her actual skin color, saying like basically Sesep, you'll see the sun determinative in that, where he's basically saying like she's literally shot, like she's glowing, like you know what I mean.
That's a good point. So the sun determinative he's talking about here in the word Seshepet, which is translated as dazzling, but like you said, glowing. So literally, like today I see a lot of sisters, women, they'll talk about how much cocoa butter and stuff they put on their face, like their skin is on fleek. So like today we'll say, man, her skin is on fleek, glowing, it's clear, it's shiny, and things like that. So cocoa butter, not cocoa butter, yeah, cocoa butter. But
speaking of cocoa butter, it has one with a shimmer, so then you get that effect.
Say it again.
With the cocoa butter, I think there's one from the brand Palmer's where you have like extra shimmer inside, so you get like this
that dazzling effect. Yeah, exactly. So we got cocoa butter and we got coconut oil. Yeah, everyone puts coconut oil on everything, So but yeah, okay. So that's some good things. Let's see what else can be said about it. Now I want ruling by outside. I can't monitor the chat. So anybody saying anything interesting in the chat? Anybody watching that?
Yeah, saying Judy, Bakmat is going in here. Okay, he's saying he's agreeing with some things that we said, and then he says, so a picture really is worth 1,000 words, huh? Gotta read. He puts gotta, then a book sign, my, and then the heart sign with the papri to write my vows when the time comes.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's basically said he gotta step his game up, man, when he gets ready to get down on that knee and ask.
Yeah.
Pop that question.
Yeah, see, these kind of documents will put some brothers to shame. We gotta, we all gotta step our game up reading these kinds of things. So, all right, so let's keep on going. So we see it's talking about eyes. So you see, erti, talking about the eyes. Let's see.
Say up in there, like literally, that's a play on the word, like as in actual sweet, like as in taste, and as in sweet as in kind.
Oh, you mean for which word?
Yeah.
Bener.
Yeah.
So we have lips.
So I mean,
septi.
Yeah, he's a lyricist, man.
Right. And then when speaking, and speaking of speaking, we see the word medut, which are words, and we see how it pops up down here. Again, as far as excessive words. Let's see what else. Let's see. Long of neck, fair of breasts. I'm just going down. Her hair is of true lapis lazuli, which was obviously a precious item,
Yeah, usually they said Osiris, since her hair was divine.
All right. And also we got to remember that lapis lazuli, in terms of its color and one of its concepts is to be likened to the sky itself, the clear blue sky, of heaven, in that sense. So that was definitely something of value. Let's see.
Not actually a mistake. That's it says her arms surpass gold.
Okay. Oh, right. I see. It's just a repeat. Okay, so say it again so it'd be clear for the video. What should it be?
This line where it's double, it actually says her arms surpass gold.
Okay. All right. Let me go back up. We have, okay, her neck and then her hair.
Yeah, he's going top down.
All right. And so let me just keep scrolling down. All right, fingers like lotus flowers. So we see the word shishin, which would be lotus flowers, but plural shishinu.
She had them slender fingers.
Yep.
Beautiful hands.
All right, so we have wide of hips right here, slim of waist. Oops. Did I just jump up? Oh, I'm sorry about that. I think I went up too far. All right, wide of hips and slim of waist. Now, if that's not typical description of, African woman, then I don't know what is. All right, let's see. Where we going?
I was wondering, the part with the hair where they talk about her hair is like lapis lazuli. Is that where we get the description of midnight sky, kind of like describing the hair of a beautiful lady you see in Portland, like modern poetry?
Hold on, let me turn you up. Can you say that again? It's just, I think you sound a bit low to me.
Okay, still low.
No, go ahead.
All right. Now I was just saying, the part where you talking about the hair, her hair is like lapis lazuli, and I think you mentioned something about the sky, and I was wondering if that's where they draw the concept of, like in the modern poetry where they talk about beautiful woman with her hair like midnight sky and things like that. You see that a lot.
Oh yeah, that's a good observation. So yeah, I don't know, but that's interesting. That's interesting. I'm trying to go back up here because I think let me go back up. We are at, let's go back up. No excessive words. Am I missing something?
What you looking for?
Long of neck. I know this is neck. All right, we'll probably go to, because I would like to walk through this. I guess we can do this when we have our more grammar discussion. Yeah.
Yeah, this is also late Egyptian, so it is a little different. You'll probably see the late Egyptian possessives.
Mm-hmm. Because like right here is lapis lazuli, and then true, and then hair. Now, see, this right here could be argued, because see, women, now we know in ancient Kemet, women, there's a high value on wigs. Like the more fuller the wig is, the longer the wig is, the more expensive it is, and stuff like that. And wigs were worn during festivals, rituals, and even during intimacy, you know. So that's just interesting in the culture. You could kind of see it reflected in this poem or this love song. And ma'ai, even though we say true, but it could also mean straight, speaking about the length, you know, the straightness in terms of how long this wig is or this hair is, you know. So although we could translate this as true, it can also mean straight as well in terms of describing. But okay, so let's just go on down. What else do we see? Yeah, wide of hips. We got the fingers. We have wide of hips. It says E petit. All right. We'll discuss that on the grammar. But yeah, I don't want to dwell too long. So I mean, you know, the poem kind of speaks for itself. So let me go back to the reference. So both of these are coming out of the Papyrus Chester Beatty, the first. I guess it's collection 1. And now, if this was together in a song, like I think one of y'all mentioned it already, it's like who's the there's a song where a man and woman are singing it. I believe it's what is it? I can hear it in my head, and I definitely can't sing, so I'm not even going to do myself like that. But there's a song where there's like there's a whole verse that a man is singing, and there's a whole verse that a woman is singing, and they're like talking to each other. But my point is that this seems like this could be one of those situations. I think Jehudi, you mentioned this already.
Are you talking about Rick James?
Well, that's one, but not. I wasn't thinking about that one, but that's one. Rick James and Tina Marie. Yeah, woman, desire, fire and desire. But
fire and desire.
But I wasn't talking about that one. It's a more recent one. What's the name? Angela something?
Oh, okay. I was about to say Casey and Mary.
No. It's man, okay. You know, watch when we finish, it's gonna come to me. You know, it's always happens like that. But anyway, so yeah, so make sure you all excuse me, who are watching. I'm trying to highlight the title. Excuse me. Again, it's coming out of Chester Beatty collection. So if you want to do some research on it, by all means, go for it. And, you know, give it a good study. And this is a good piece to actually start to look at the different cultural nuances and concepts in terms of how these words were done. It's just real interesting. Like I said, it's a play on words right here. You have this 1, 2 being played on. You know, uniqueness, term of endearment in terms of a second, and then the word for a second, you know, which is an ordinal number. All of that stuff's going on. Connections, analogies made with stars and women. You know, what is the eyes? It says something about the eyes. Yeah, her eyes are beautiful. You know, so anyway, and let's go down to the other one. Let's see what kind of things we come up with the other one. Let's see, where's okay, man, it says, my beloved. Now check this out. So here's the same word. Now we, instead of sinet-e, is sini. Now in isolation, we would see that it would be, we would think that to be my brother. And also, this kind of speaks to the idea that a lot of people have overall about Kemet, where they say incest. This kind of adds to it. It kind of conflates the argument about incest, where these words for brother and sister are used, but they're not actually physically or genetic brothers and sisters. They're terms of endearment where we could translate as brother or sister, but it's actually a beloved one or a second one, like my second. You know, but then there's some arguments about actual brothers and sisters. But I'm saying the overall argument, though, people are adding unnecessary things in there because of a lack of understanding about these words being used that don't literally mean brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that we see that today, as especially in the African continent. I mean, everybody refers to each other as my brother, my sister, and all of that. So that's just
Yes.
common.
Yes, it's common here. It's common in right now. Like I'm saying, Sister Emiket, Brother June, Brother Jody, and stuff like that, even though you're not genetically my brothers and sisters. So, okay, so let's see what some other things we could point out. Let's see.
Oh well, you can stay right there. I was gonna say,
Oh, go back up.
you can go one where it says like overwhelmed, that the root is the ta, the s is a causative prefix on that, where basically ta means to like literally to fall in, where like she is like his voice literally makes her weak, where she can almost can't handle it, and you can see later on where she literally, sometimes she is so in love with him that she can't handle it.
All right.
And then we go to the next line where it says love is in parentheses because it actually doesn't mention love either.
Oh, wait a minute,
Sickness
you
or
cut out.
illness.
Hold up, say that again. You cut out.
I said in the next line underneath that where it says kayat, that's an actual word for sickness or illness. Where she's basically using it as a metaphor for how he makes her feel.
Right. Okay. And this kind of ties into what I was saying about love being given in an analogy or comparisons to the idea of being dazed, confused, drunk. And now we have another attribute of being sick. We say it today, we call it love sick. And a lot of us go through that, love sick. You be away from a loved one for so long, like especially people in the military or whatever, or whatever the case is, you got to be away from your family or your husband or wife, and you say, man, I'm homesick, or I'm love sick, and things like that. So, but all right, let's keep going down, see what we can see.
Yeah, well, right there, where he literally lives in her same neighborhood, but she is so like overwhelmed by him that she can't, go immediately go confess to him. She has to like, kind of build up her emotions. So, well, basically, like, literally, it's the human feel like she's just like us.
Right. So she got a little cold feet, and plus, and also, there may be courting, like social courting rules. You know what I mean? Like, like today, when people court each other, or if you're a certain age, you get chaperoned to your prom or school dance and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So maybe some social norms that was done where there was an actual way that women would express their desire for another man and stuff like that, and vice versa. I know, for example, like, matter of fact, I believe in Asar Motep's book, I don't know if he discusses it here, but I know we discussed it in the public, about in some African communities, when a man want to express their like for a woman, they would actually leave a certain kind of rock or some kind of object at their doorstep or somewhere where the woman or the girl, young lady.
6 stones.
Say it again.
6 stones. He'll leave 6 stones, and if she like him, she'll leave 8.
Okay, right. Okay, so something like, yeah. I'm unfamiliar with the actual numbers and stuff, but yeah. So there's certain culture, there's certain social things that were done. So you know what I'm saying. So it may be, we may see some of that here, that's going on with the woman and a man. And you know, today, like today, I don't know about today, like now, but I know growing up, it was kind of odd for a girl to approach a guy, you know, a girl to approach a boy. It was always the boys had to talk to girls, you know. I don't know why, but it was just like that. It was like, you know, for if a girl approached a boy, she was looked at as fast, like, oh man, you fast or whatever. And it was just normal for a boy to talk to a girl, you know, ask a girl out. You know what I mean? That's just how it was. I don't know about today. But so, you know, we have these kind of little unwritten rules even today. So let's see. Let's see what else we could pick out. Chris, if you see anything, I'm just gonna scroll, keep on scrolling. So if you see anything that stands out. That we could pick out again. And how about on the phone line? Y'all still on the phone line? Everything's quiet. Boy, I see when I'm looking at the document, so I can't see the chat and I can't see the the hangout itself. So sometimes I feel like I'm in here by myself if nobody talks. So it's like awkward. But what were you about to say?
Common play on words where if you was to read this literally, it says he is heartless, which well, heart is a common metaphor for the mind. You know, sometimes, you know, where you know, like an old saying would say, like if my head wasn't attached to my neck, you know, I leave without it.
Yeah. Right. So okay, so right. So, you know, we say walk around here with like a headless chicken, meaning that you know, you're not, your mind is not present. You're like off in dreamland or whatever. So look, he is senseless. So that's good. And then we see the word to. Oh no, to eat, just like him.
Yeah, and like Ked literally built, you know, she's fashion, you know, designed just like him. So she was like, she said, I can't fault him, you know, that's more reason why I love him, because I see myself in him.
And we see this word me in terms of like a lot of the inscriptions that we've been doing. We'll see this me in connection with Ra. Say me Ra, like Ra. So we say like his build or his character, because the word ked means to build in terms of in a building, in a construction context, but in terms of a person, ked means your character. And we spoke about this when we did a couple of hangouts or Divine Words Wednesdays. We talk about building good character, and we say kedek, which is your character. You know, kikedek, how are you doing? When we ask the question, kikedek, which is how are you? And it's like, how are you? Like your essence, your character, you know? So we see that. What else? Embracing him. We see the word mute for mother. Here's again, we have Sini, my beloved. Let's see. Anything else that stands out? We see it-e, which would be my father, and mut-e, my mother. I think I hear somebody wanted to speak. No? Okay. Let's see. All right, that's it. So all right, so I'm gonna just stop sharing my screen. We can kind of have a conversation about it. So it says, but how long have we been on? I don't want to drag this out too long. We've been on, okay, still under an hour. All right.
1 hour 30 minutes.
All right. So now I can see the chat. So anybody else want to chime in on anything? Comments?
Nah,
No?
it's a beautiful poet. It's beautiful poetry. Yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, I don't want to drag this out, but the theme for tonight is because of the recent holiday yesterday, in fact, Valentine's Day, a lot of people are spending time with their significant others and things like that. So we just felt it appropriate to go over these two love songs or poems from ancient Kemet. And so we could see that these poems are really, really nice. They are using a lot of plays on words and things like that. And what's even more interesting is that it reads like it could plug in right now, today. Same things that how we express ourselves today, it's expressed inside of these two poems. And there's a lot of poems as well. So maybe we'll post a few more. Or we could do this again, but we probably post them on at least these two on the website so that everyone can look at them and actually study them and see how there's a play on different words and things like that. So I hope everyone, kind of enjoyed this and learned something. I don't normally, love poems and things like that are not kind of the documents that we normally look at. So this is kind of outside of the focus. Even me, I'm gonna say even me, but personally, I deal with certain text, and now looking at this is definitely opened my eyes to add this to the genre of text that I actually look at and study, because I find this fascinating and stuff. I think it's really, really interesting. You could learn about how people express themselves. So, but I don't have anything else to add. Also, we did bring up the concept of love, and the brother Sarimotep in his book "Where Is the Love" did an excellent job of breaking that down, doing a linguistic analysis of the word love in Africa. So, and European, the actual word love, LOVE, So definitely support that and get that book. And brother Christopher Withers, he said he has the book. Yeah, crack it open, check it out, and read it. And so that's it for me. Anybody else got anything else to bring up? Nope. All right, so I will pass the mic over to Emiket to close us out. And for myself, I'll say Shimon Hotep. Emiket, you still there? All right, maybe she stepped away. So I'll close us out. All right. Well, I want to say dua and dua'u to everyone who tuned in, who are watching us live, and who'll be watching the archives. And if you have any questions or comments and you want to chime in, make sure that you join our Facebook group. You can find us under the title Seshew mdw-ntr, spelled the same way that you see on the YouTube channel, Seshew mdw-ntr. We have a Facebook group. Feel free to share some of your research, share some of your ideas about the language, about the culture of Kemet. And if you feel like we are in error of anything, or we said something wrong or whatever the case is, bring it to our attention, because one of our biggest goals is to make sure that we move towards accuracy. So then, you know, we can make mistakes. We're all prone to that. So be sure to do that and spread the word. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so you'll be alerted to all of the updates. And not only subscribe though, I noticed that when you're subscribed to YouTube channels, you also have to click on notification, which right next to the subscription button, there's a bell icon. The icon looks like a bell. You have to click on that as well. That way you'll be notified when we do these hangouts, because we have Divine Words Wednesdays, Freestyle Fridays, and occasionally we'll do what we call Welcome to the Sabayit Dome, where we'll address some of the controversial things that pop up on social media. All right. So be sure to do that. And those of you who are interested in learning Seshew mdw-ntr, Rodney Kemet and Seshew mdw-ntr, the language and the writing system, get the book, A Beginner's Introduction to mdw-ntr. It's a textbook that has a complimentary study course that you can register online at the website mdw-ntr.com, mdw-ntr.com, mdw-ntr.com. And I'm actually starting a new class group this weekend. It was supposed to start last weekend, but conflicts in schedule, I rescheduled it to begin this weekend coming up. So there's still time to register and get involved with that. The class is 12 weeks long, and we meet once a week for 2 hours. So 2 hours a week for 12 weeks. And in all, it's 24 hours. And I would love to say that I can teach you how to translate Egyptian in 24 hours, because that's what it literally is, but it's not in 24 hours that people think. So it's spaced out 2 hours a week for 12 weeks. All right. So that's going to begin this weekend. And there's plenty of time to sign up, because basically the first week of our first time we meet, it's an orientation and a meet and greet. So if you're still unable to sign up for that first session, don't be alarmed about it or anything like that. You can still register and join in. All right. So we have that going on. We have some transliterations and translations of some of the Freestyle Fridays up on the website under the Seshew mdw-ntr, Seshew mdw-ntr menu or tab on the website. Be sure to check that out. And also the book that we've done collectively, which is called Has the Egyptian Hieroglyphic Writing System Been Deciphered? And that was to address the question of decipherment that's been going on from mid last year till the end of last year. Even still today, people are still kind of trying to debate it. But we wrote a book about it, and it's a good book that will kind of prep you for even learning the Seshew mdw-ntr, the writing system itself. All right, so it's really good. It kind of gives you a good breakdown and summary of how the hieroglyphs work, how the Seshew mdw-ntr works. You know, how does it work? All right. So be sure to get that. That's available on Amazon. The beginner's book is available on Amazon, and it's available. Both of them are available on the website. All right. So with that being said, I want to say du'a'u again. And I say Becca Nafir for those who tuned in, overseas, and Gared Nafir to those who tuned in tonight, which is good night. And I'll say Shalom Hotep.